Hello everyone, this is Rosemary and this is my a cookbook I made for a swap with a Junk Journal chat group. And so here we go. It's I bound it together with rings because when you have a recipe book, I find you might want to add your own pages. And it was some paper I had in my stash. The closure is elastic. And you can see the two eyelets on this side here because I thought it was a recipe book has to be able to close because you're always stuffing it with recipes. So we go into the inside, and like I said, to me, my recipe book is I like to have my recipes and then pull them out. This inside cover was made from pages from a cookbook. I bought this book at a thrift store. It was in the bargain bin for $1.25, 50 cents. And I have used it for the decorations. And I really like, as you see, here are some vocabulary, cooking vocabulary, and the checkerboard canaps. Now, you can also make your own recipe cards from scrap like I did from here. Which, you know, when I write my recipes, I like mine to be kind of big so I can see them. But I know some people like small ones. So here you can see this was how I patched together some paper. This strip reinforces the holes punched right there. And of course, I added a quote that cooking is love made visible. Now, there's a pocket right here. And here there also is some pockets, and these are cards which I printed from Pinterest. It was supposed to be vintage style, and the idea is I like I said, cards bigger that you can put some right into the side there. Of course, you can turn them sideways, but I want the owner to be able to see them at this point. Again, one of my favorite themes of in a recipe book are the mason jars. So this is another printable I found on Pinterest. And these are some recipe that I found somewhere in a thrift store. Here you can see there, it's another pocket, and I did a lot of sewing. The embellishment is a flower die cut with a button and some string. And this other page is this is what I use magazines. This is, you know how you have food magazines all over the place, or just a Better Homes and Garden. So this is a pocket, and I wanted to decorate it. And this, again, is another Pinterest recipe card. And I thought this was a really fun way of decorating your recipe book. Then, oops, sorry about that. I moved this is a flip right here. This is paper somebody had given me. These were actually the fronts of programs, and the writing is actually on this side. That's why it's covered. So these were program covers, and I am recycling them, and there you see, in case you want something there. And so this is that pocket. And then the other thing I had was some stationery. I found this stationery right here in a thrift store adventure. And this is actually 2 sheets of the stationery sewn together. This right here is an embellished paper clip with some equivalent measures, which I thought would be very useful in a cookbook. But these are basically 2 sheets put together of this stationery. It reminds me of vegetables, even though it's, I don't know, just a very cheerful kind of spring. And here you see me flipping it over for more reinforcement. This was a recipe card I just had left over, a real large one, because, you know, when you have a lot of ingredients, and because if you have one of those complicated, oops, sorry about that, recipes, you might need some more space. And here is a temperature table. It's also an embellished paper clip. And those are the pages, and then the next 3 sections are just basically repeats. And so you can see there is the same thing I did, just a different pattern with the first one. And a home-cooked meal is a labor of love. And so I think with our busy times, I think people will truly believe that a little bit more than maybe in the past. And again, another flower embellishment, a homemade tag that I have right here. And I guess this is supposed to be the vegetable section, so this is kind of fun. And these came from magazines. I just kind of looked around and I thought, like I said, I like to be able to pull out my recipes. And if you're one of these people that wants to write it down, this is why the rings are here, and so that you can take it out and put it back in. There you see the stationery. This was some stationery that I found in a, again, thrift store, and it looks pretty, and it also has a recipe and as well space for you to write in. So you're going to see this theme, with small variations. There you see I use lined paper this time, and it's a tuck. This is why this recipe card is staying there. And here you see the third section. Again, you can see the secret ingredient is always love. And again, the repeat of it. So a recipe book doesn't have to be really very fancy. It's just a variety of, papers that you're using. This, as you can see, is magazines. And my idea here is we're supposed to share recipes. This is my recipe for rum cake. And you can just put them in there, and there they go. And here's another one of my recipes is banana nut bread. And as you can see, they just fit in there. And the last page here is again the stationery. So you can make your own recipe books without it being a very complicated matter. Just being kind of, use your imagination. Go find a cookbook at a thrift store and you can cut it apart. Here, the back is professional tips. And it makes it interesting without, costing quite a bit of money. So, and around this time of the year, fall, I always start thinking about baking, and so this is what I like to make. Here is another one I have, and as you can see, they just kind of fit in there, and they're just fun to do. And there you go. So again, this is an adventure in making your recipe books. They would make wonderful gifts for especially people who are on the go, and everybody has their recipes that are always foolproof, and we can always share them with people, and I'm sure they would appreciate it. Again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again.